Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the Figuarts Zero Chainsaw Man from the series Chainsaw Man. Now, there have been several statues of Chainsaw Man released already, and some of them I've actually featured on this channel, but most of them have been prize figures. And while some of them have been pretty damn good, like the Luminasta Chainsaw Man, you can't really deny that they are still prize figures at the end of the day. And while there are a few scale figures out already, as well as many on the way, some of them looking absolutely amazing, I would argue that this Figuarts Zero Chainsaw Man is probably the best of the bunch that's out right now, and is probably in sort of like the top 3 of Chainsaw Man figures that we know about so far. Now, the Figuarts Zero line are smaller scale statues, typically in line with the size of the s.h.figuarts line, which are 1/12 scale posable figures. And the Figuarts Zero is basically a static statue in that scale, focusing on specific moments in a show, a specific attack, or just general effect. And that's pretty much what we've got here with this Denji. It's effectively when he sliced up the Bat Devil, but you could effectively say it's anytime he's slicing up a monster, because there is just a lot of blood and some guts flying around. So it could realistically be anything, but I believe that that's the exact moment that this is meant to be. So taking a quick look at the box, you can see it's sort of designed like a lot of the s.h.figuarts I look at on this channel, which is a big window into the figure, promo images along the sides, and not much else because it's not posable, so there aren't swappable parts, so it's just a bunch of promo images. So taken out of the box, you can see that the Denji not only stands pretty tall because it's suspended in the air, but it does absolutely capture a moment in time. There's so much going on in this statue, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So love it or hate it, this is the pose that they chose for Denji slicing. And I think from a side-on profile it looks really cool, but depending on the angle you're looking at, it does look a bit awkward. This is due to how the chainsaws sort of fit on his arms, that it's very hard to have something 2D translate into 3D seamlessly like that. And so you're left with a bit of an awkward sort of scissoring angle of his arms. But while it does look a little bit funny, especially his right arm, the more you look at it, I do think it's fine. I don't think it's too awkward to ruin the figure or anything like that. And depending on the angle you're looking at, it looks perfectly natural and really, really damn cool. Now, unfortunately, I didn't take out my s.h.figuarts Denji to compare with this figure, but it is larger than a standard s.h.figuarts, and the proportions are actually different. Like, the chainsaw on his head is smaller than the one in the s.h.figuarts, same as the ones on his arms. I believe they're bigger than the one on the s.h.figuarts. And one other thing is his eyes aren't as pronounced as they are on some of his other figures, but I think that that works really well because the closer you look at the figure, the more detail you see. Like, there's some amazing sculpt work put into this figure. Just some amazing detail, some great shading, some folds in his outfit. The fact that his shirt's open and you can see a little more detail about how the chainsaw parts flow into his actual torso. There's some rough sculpt work on the head, which I think makes it look more rugged and more sort of natural, in a sense of this thing wouldn't be a perfect sort of solid piece. It would absolutely have chips and tears and things, especially in the middle of a fight. So I think it works quite well. And then there's all the effect on the chainsaws, on Denji, and on his feet, and the rest of the base. Now, there's a lot of blood splatter around, and it's all going in different directions, but mostly in the same sort of rough motion. And so it gives the figure a lot of character and a lot of movement. It makes it feel dynamic, even though it is static, and I really do appreciate that. Under different lighting conditions, you can see that a lot of that clear blood does really pop, which is great. And you can also sort of see the separation between the guts of whatever he's cutting up and the blood splatter, which I think is good because depending on where you've got it, they do sort of blend together. but I do like it that they are different types of plastic and look the part. I can't see any real paint errors or issues with the figure. A lot of the detail work is just precise, clean, everything looks good. I haven't really noticed any proportional differences, like how the s.h.figuarts, they made a few stylistic changes to make the figure work better. And they were subtle, but there were some changes. I don't really see anything in this. Maybe the chainsaw on the head being just a touch smaller, where it could have been a bit bigger, but it is what it is. But generally, I think that's about it. I do like the multiple finishes, like how there's the clear plastic, there's the matte finish on Denji himself, the gloss of the chainsaw head, the sort of semi-gloss or satin finish of the chainsaws themselves, the high gloss of the intestines. I think that works really, really well. It makes it look quite natural. And yeah, it's just really, really well done. Nothing too crazy. Again, depending on the angle you have it from, it looks a little bit funny, but I think that that's very, very minor. And it's just another nice little feather in the cap of good Chainsaw Man figures, because he has such a cool design and such a unique design for a character that I think we can really get a lot out of him for figurines, both posable and static, and I think we're seeing a lot of that come out of Tamashii Nations, which is great. I'd love to see them do something like this for Power, or something like this for the Katana, or further on down the line doing even more characters. It'd be nice to have Aki using Kon. I know there are figures of him doing that already, but I don't think that they look the best. Even something simple like making a diorama style like they did with the Figuarts Trunks recently, where it could be Aki up against Katana and using the sort of nail sword. It'd be cool having things like that. And I think Chainsaw Man lends itself to that style really, really well. But we'll see in time if that ever gets picked up again. But as it stands now, this figure is great on its own. I think it works great in a diorama. I think it'll be great if they do more. And if they don't do any, it'll be fine. It's still just a really, really good figure. And because of the scale of it, it would work with most display cases, because the figure itself isn't very big, but because it's suspended in the air, it has quite a bit of presence. So it would work in the back row of like a display, which I really like. I wish I did do a size comparison, but I don't have anything on hand right now, unfortunately. But it is what it is. And this is a really, really solid release. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time.